Hey friends, it's Danika. You are listening to the Danikast. Get this. Now the fastest growing podcast in New York. Hold on to your knickers, Jonah. I'm coming for the crown. For you new listeners, welcome. The Danikast is your spot for real takes on real news about real people. Did y'all hear about this train worker, Dennis, who single-handedly kept the trains running during the Sandman attack? Main track control booth got cut off by a power failure, and he had to patch in from his cell phone on a hotspot to keep the lines up. Thousands of people got evacuated to Queens and Brooklyn thanks to him. Dennis, we at the Danikast salute you. Keep doing what you're doing. What's up, Danikasters? I've seen the questions about that new Emily May Foundation. Who are they? What do they do? Well, big picture, it's an Oscorp spinoff, which we don't love, I know, but the man in charge, Harry Osborn, has got a decent rep. At the very least, he hired my favorite bee scientist, aka apiologist, Dr. M. Young. They're the foremost expert on colony collapse disorder and a pretty sick ukulele player, if you happen to follow them on the socials. So, young Osborn, your foundation has a lot of work to do repairing your father's legacy, but so far, you're off to a good start. Don't forget to pay your rent on the 1st, or, withhold your checks in protest. Whatever, do you. Later. Danikast clan, let's talk about Coney Island. First off, the latest news from first responders is many injuries, but no fatalities. Small blessings. But we have got a lot of unknowns. Who perpetrated the attack? Who was the man who helped Spider-Man? I've got to be honest, folks, this is giving me not good flashbacks to the underground and Roxxon brawls of last year. Here's hoping that with 2 Spider-Men in town, we can steer away from more citywide chaos. Anyone who tells you these things happen for a reason should be cursed with wet socks. Forever. Okay, friends, my feeds are blowing up about the commotion out in Jersey. A fire at the old zoo? A secret hunter base? And Spider-Man trying on his friend's black suit? Things are getting weird out there, folks. I mean, I know there's a lot of excitement about SM's black is the new black look, and I mean, it is fire and all, but isn't it just a tad moody for our friendly neighborhood so-and-so? No takers? Just me? Okay, well, you come to me for the real, so I'm just trying to deliver. Stay safe out there, y'all. Hey, friends, I have got a very special episode for you today. Here to dish about all things going on in Harlem recently is the incredible and brilliant Councilwoman Rio Morales. Good to have you back, Rio. So, we've been seeing reports of an attempted robbery in Harlem. If there's one thing I love, it's optimism. And I heard Spider-Man might have been involved. Right? So, Spider-Man was on the scene. That's great. Think he's handsome under that mask? Well, New York wouldn't be the same without him. Thanks, Rio. Give it up for Rio Morales, who graciously lent us her time. Any advice for our audience before we head out? Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself. Danika out! Danika stands, tolerators, and haters. I have some news. And it is dark. Spider-Man was seen straight up terrorizing a neighborhood in Queens. A witness on site reports he moved like something out of a nightmare. Listen, the hunters are bad. No joke. But a possessed Spider-Man? That's nuclear no good. And worse, the other Spider-Man, nowhere to be found. The comments are open, folks. Let us know what you know. Any sightings of the younger Spider-Man, let me have him. He's gotta be okay. What's good, Danika peeps? Okay, these symbiotes, as they're called, are dangerous. Watch yourselves out there, especially if you live near the Queensboro Tunnel. And maybe carry pepper spray. I had some additional advice to tack on here at the end, but I'm just gonna leave it at the pepper spray thing. Take care. Love you. Folks, listen up. If you can hear this podcast and you're still on the island of Manhattan, shelter in place. Seal the windows, bolt the doors, do not leave your homes. First responders are organizing emergency medical and focused evac. Feast is delivering food and survival supplies. Check my socials for up-to-the-minute route info. And sound off in the comments with any reports of folks in need of aid. Listen, I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But keep the faith. The Spider-Men are working their butts off out there to put this thing right, and they ain't giving up. So damn it, we're not giving up either. Stay strong, New York. Friends of the Danicast, I woke up today with one question on my mind. What the hell happened at the Emily May Foundation last night? One minute we're talking philanthropy and using the means of production for good, and the next we're looking at a war zone. And yeah, listen, clearly those hunters were involved. Clearly they're the baddies here. But y'all saw the same footage of Spider-Man I did, yeah? The way that new black suit moves, how vicious it is. Call me a worrywart if you want, but something ain't right. Times like these, take care of the little things. 64 ounces of water, every day. See you soon, folks. Commotion at the fish market, folks, involving the lizard? I gotta admit, I was really hoping that was one big bad who was firmly in the rear view, but lucky as ever that our two Spider-Men were on site to save the day. Spider-Man the younger pulled some impressive water acrobatics along the way. Spider-Man the older, well, am I a broken record yet on this new black suit scares the bejesus out of me? Well, fine, I am, and it does. Come at me in the comments if you want, but I am putting it out there. This new black suit thing, whatever it really is, it ain't no good. You can quote me. All right, kids, Danik out. Hey, Danik Cubs, did, anyone happen to lose a 60-foot lizard? No? 'Cause the city of New York just did. Seriously, it's just gone. And you want to know the spooky thing? 2 people went into that sewer, the lizard and Spider-Man, but only one came out. So what happened in there? What did Spider-Man do? Folks, look, I know I sound like he who must not be named, Jonah. And believe me, I feel just as hinky about that as you do, but we trust Spider-Man to look out for us, to do it the right way. What if he starts doing it the wrong way? What then? I'm sorry to get dark, folks, but those are the times. So let's all hope whatever journey Spider-Man is on, he finds his way back to the light. Hey, everyone. Okay. One Spider-Man is missing. The other is not himself. So what can we do? I always say, the Spider-Men inspire us to be our best selves. Well, it's time to prove that isn't just words. New York needs us. Spider-Man needs us. Remember friend of the pod, Dennis, savior of the subway? Dennis is out there right now, leading a search party, 50 people strong, looking for the missing Spider-Man. And dang it, I am wrapping early today so I can join him. Check my socials for the meetup deets. We gotta do something, folks. Come on. Let's be heroes. Good news, bad news, folks. Good news. OG Spider-Man looks to be, finally, back to his senses, free of that black suit. Bad news. Seeing reports that whatever that black suit was may now be spreading through parts of the city. Are the two connected? Maybe. But right now isn't the time for speculation. It's the time for action. We're getting scattered reports of folks going missing. Our favorite subway worker, Dennis, is running a database of missing persons. Check the description for details. Let's crowdsource this, everyone. Get as much data in there as we can. We can't leave the protection of New York just to the Spider-Man anymore. Let's be heroes. Danny Gremlins, I have got updates on the Emily May Foundation, and they have been doing cool stuff in the city, with a little help from a certain costumed spider person. Compact wind turbines, bee bodyguards, fire e-bikes. Listen, I am the biggest Osborn skeptic on the planet, but Harry Osborn is turning me around. New York's #1 evil empire might actually be doing good things? I am as confused as you are, and honestly, that's as good an end note as any. Always question your assumptions, folks. Sometimes people can surprise you. Welcome back, Dana Club. We did it. We survived the impossible. Drove back a friggin' alien invasion, and we did it together as heroes. The Spider-Men led the way, and every day New Yorkers rose to the challenge. Today I am so pleased to talk with one of those heroes, author, journalist, and avid motorcyclist. Please welcome Mary Jane Watson. MJ it is. So, I ate up your book about Simcaria in a single sitting. Thank you for giving this to the world. It's so important. I heard we're going to get even more of your words in the form of a new project. Can you tell us more about it? Relatable. I know exactly what you mean. When you let that junk creep in, it takes over the truth, warps it into something else, like a Mary Jane Watson, everybody. Any last notes you'd like to leave us with? I could feel the pain in your voice there. Danika Hart and Mary Jane Watson, signing off. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Danicast, where we do not tolerate skinny jean slander. You'll have to bury me in mine. Today we're talking about villains, much like you bootcut people. I'm not mad at you for wearing them. I'm mad at you for making them look good. Because how? Anyway, villains. I heard about the commotion at Hayward and Lincoln. Apparently, those hunter people were offloading a huge weapon stash from Craven's Supply. So we have villains turning on villains now, which is not my business. But J. Jonah Jameson arguing that Spider-Man shouldn't help villains when we have villain-on-villain crime, that's my business. Because here on the Danicast, we believe in helping the disenfranchised, whoever is doing the disenfranchising. Sounds like a certain cave troll wants his ass kicked in another debate. Wish I had time for that kind of charity work. Oh, speaking of charity, I've joined this year's Ride for the Reform to raise money for ex-parolees, and I am matching donations up to $10,000. See my blog for deets. Because that's what people do, JJ, when they're more than a talking head. Danik out. Danicasters. You remember those recent thefts at the Harlem Cultural Center? Turns out, Darren Shipman was pulling the strings. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he's a multi-millionaire with his name on everything, because his money is in everything. So, we have a special guest today to drop some knowledge on us about an exciting new opportunity for budding artists to share in the joys of responsible art. Please welcome renowned street artist and head of the Cooper Art Coalition, Haley Cooper. Fantastic. Welcome, both of you. So, Haley, tell us all about your coalition. That's brilliant. It's about time we had a force to fight underground theft like this. Can you tell us more about what the coalition is doing to protect artists? I love this. Awesome organization protecting awesome people. How can budding artists get in touch? There you have it, folks, the Cooper Art Coalition. Any words of advice before we bid you adieu? Can't argue with that, Haley. I can't prove they won't. Later, Danikids. Hey, friendly people, what's been up? I found the sweetest email in my inbox today, and I just had to share it with you. It reads, Dear Danika, I know you're reporting on high-profile stories these days, but if you have time, I'd like to forward a public thank you on your show. I'm a BVA senior who would never have gotten an A on their final cinematography project if it wasn't for Spider-Man's help. I was so grateful, I decided to name my new hamster after him. It meant a lot that he took the time to help me, given how much he's had to deal with lately. Sometimes the smallest good things make ripples. If you read this, thanks for reading. Sincerely, Odyssey. Oh, Odyssey, I love stories like this. Small things make such a difference. So, here is my challenge for all of you. Do something small today. Give a stranger a compliment, buy a friend a coffee, put a coin in the meter next to yours, anything. You never know what good it'll do. Well, that seems like enough advice for this episode. Take the most care, everyone, and take care of each other. What is up, friends of the Danicast? It is Accessibility Awareness Week here in the studio, which means we're talking all things inclusive design. We've got an incredible story on our show today from a Miss Alma Patel. She writes, Danika, I've been allergic to dogs since I was a little girl, so when my application for a service animal was denied several times, I thought it was fate for me to go without. But Spider-Man came through for me. I don't know how he did it, but he found a furless, mechanical pet for me and completely reprogrammed it. I even had my HOA inspect it for safety, and he passed all tests exquisitely. He's a guide dog now. I named him Anthony after my son, who would have loved him as I do. Thank you, Spider-Man, for the animal companionship I never thought I'd have. Guys, Anthony must be protected at all costs. And Alma, if you're listening to this, know that you've touched 6 million hearts among the Danika kids. We love you. All right, updates. Just found a fascinating research blog from a top Morningside professor. She's calling the creatures we're seeing throughout the city symbiotes because they live symbiotically with their host. Folks, this is scary. This is real. But keep courage. Check the description for a map of shelters throughout the city and evacuation plans for the elderly and high risk. The Spider-Men are out there fighting for us, but we gotta keep meeting them halfway. We'll get through this. Together. All right, folks. Updates on the trial of the century. The people of New York versus Norman Osborn. You remember Devil's Breath, how Mayor Norman was indirectly responsible for poisoning the city a couple years back? Well, his lawyers have slowed the march of justice down yet again with more delays. Our source inside the courtroom tells me they're bringing frivolous motions to prolong discovery. All love to my legal eagle friends, but some days you just gotta say it. Screw you, lawyers. All right, see you next time, kids.